As some of you guys may know, I'm the host for the show Stories Written by a Current Prisoner, where we bring you exclusive interviews from inside California's most notorious prisons. However, there are many mind-boggling scenarios and twisted dilemmas that have caught my attention, which inspired me to create a new series covering these topics. So without further more ado, I present you Twisted Tales. Now this story right here really gets to me. It really makes me think how cold some individuals can really be. First thing I want to say is I'm not here to discredit Sylvia. I'm just going to go over the facts, and you can draw your own conclusion. Sylvia Browne, one of the most well-known psychics around the world, known for cooperating with authorities and even landed a spot on a hit show called The Montel Williams Show, which is a great show. This is the first time that I had ever seen her. First thing that struck me kind of strange was just the way she looked. She looked strange, almost intimidating. She claims to have been blessed with powerful spiritual gifts. She claims to be able to speak to the dead. She also claimed to be able to see into the future, speaking to deceased loved ones. Coming from a family of working psychics, Sylvia Browne seemed to be something very special. She was on many shows, but Sylvia has also been under heavy pressure and has been criticized over and over again for being completely wrong on an abundance, if not of all her predictions or assumptions. Sylvia would charge grieving families thousands of dollars for her work. One instance that really sticks out on a special edition of the Montel Williams Show, where the mother of a kidnapped child went on the show and asked Sylvia if she knew what had happened to her daughter. Sylvia responded that her daughter was long dead, and that she would no longer see her again, and that she would see her again on the other side. In fact, another psychic said the same thing. Unfortunately, due to a set of unforeseen circumstances, the mother of the child passed away. Years later, the child was found alive and safe. News stations and media outlets immediately attacked Sylvia, calling her a liar and a monster. Another instance on the Montel Williams Show, two parents asked Sylvia what had happened to their young daughter. Before anything, Sylvia quickly responded, she was shot. And the parents just looked at each other and responded, how? If she suddenly collapsed in her room and died? Her tone suddenly changed as almost nervous, and Sylvia responded, she hit a chair. Something hit her in the chest. Parents responded. Her parents looked at her confused. Responded, we did an autopsy on her. There was no bruising. There was nothing. She said, I don't care. She was hit in the chest. And the parents just looked at her confused. The host of the show quickly attempts to try to save her from her bogus remark, which leads me to believe that he is somewhat careless as well. I guess at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if we're lying to grieving parents or grieving spouses. The ratings is what matters. And if she's bringing in the money, let's keep the show going. In another story on the Montel Williams Show, a grieving widow asked Sylvia if she could tell her where her husband was, that they were never able to find him. Quickly she blurted out, honey, you can't find him because he's in the water. She looked at her confused and responded, how? If he was a firefighter in the incident of 9/11. She responded, honey, I see him in the water. And also stated, well, honey, it doesn't matter. Anyways, he's on the other side. For those who don't know, I talk to inmates on a daily basis. I talk to murderers and lifers and got to know them on a very personal level. And I have came across some truly careless individuals, heartless people. But this lady right here, she's at the top of the list. I encourage anyone to look her up on the Montel Williams Show, and you will see a truly heartless individual in the works. Her entire demeanor, her natural expressions, her way of being. People dying from illness would go to her asking her if she knew if they would die or survive from the illness. In one specific instance, one lady traveled long ways to go to one of her seminars when fortunately out of the entire audience, she was selected to ask the question first. She asked Sylvia if her son that was dying from cancer was going to survive, or should she just take his son to live out the rest of his days at home. She responded, no, leave him in the hospital. He will regain his strength in 1 month. But the doctor only gave him a few days, the mother responded. Sylvia blurted out, I don't give a damn what the doctors say. Your son will survive. The lady went home ecstatic and called it a miracle. Unfortunately, 2 days later, her son passed away. And just to throw it out there, if anybody has been deceived or was told false information by her or any other psychic for that matter, please, I would like to contact you and I would like to hear your experience. But this is not the end of it. Not only would she do this, for women, for whatever reason, were not able to conceive, they would pay her large lump sums of money to find out if it was actually possible for them to be able to have a baby. In some cases, she would tell the women that yes, it's a possibility when doctors absolutely told them that it was absolutely impossible. She has worked with several detectives, but several detectives have made statements regarding Sylvia's work. She was absolutely no help to the investigation, and all her tips led to nothing. What really blows me away is how a news station or even television show can broadcast someone all over the world for grieving parents to see, so she can take advantage and basically fraud them out of their money. Do you think for a second she felt some type of way when the parents of the kidnapped kids sat across her, grieving to her after wiping out the entire bank accounts? She looked into their eyes and didn't even flinch once. Can you do that? What kind of mindset must one possess? What kinds of thoughts must go through one's mind? Is one's greed and need of money so powerful that they will endure doing that to someone? Or is one just completely careless and soulless and just does not know how to feel remorse, does not know how to love? If in fact she did lie to all these families and was even on television telling me she was one of the most heartless women out there. Also, records show that she was actually convicted of fraud in the late 1980s. While actually lying to a couple, she took $20,000 for operating costs only to turn around and put it into their Nirvana Foundation of Psychic Research. Now, this is what she got caught for. Imagine all the stuff that she did not get caught for. If I'm starting to sound biased, I apologize. It just makes me feel some type of way when you really start digging in and you start looking at all the facts. Needless to say, her books still continue to be bestsellers with titles like Life on the Other Side, or End of Days Predictions about the End of the World, or The Mystical Life of Jesus. Sylvia passed away in 2013. She was married several times and lived a very fruitful life based on her work. Now I ask you this, what would you do if you were in her shoes? If you had dozens of media outlets calling you to feature you on their show, when you are a best-selling author based on what you claim to live a lavish lifestyle, can you look into the eyes of a grieving parent for these riches and lie? Imagine her walking off behind that curtain after being on television. What do you think was running through her mind? Thank you for tuning into the show. Please subscribe. And if you have any video suggestions, please drop them in the comment section.